In life, we often search for external solutions to our problems, hoping that something outside of us will provide the peace, happiness, or success we long for. However, the Stoics remind us that the greatest obstacles to our growth are often within ourselves, in our habits, thoughts, and choices. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This philosophy teaches us that true power comes from self-awareness and the ability to recognize the patterns in our lives that hinder our progress. Without awareness, these habits operate like unseen forces, quietly steering us away from our potential and leading us into frustration, regret, and dissatisfaction. The good news: these habits are within our control. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When we cultivate awareness and apply discipline, we can replace harmful habits with empowering ones, moving closer to the life we truly want. In this video, we will explore 12 habits that may be holding you back and how Stoic wisdom can help you overcome them. These are habits you may not even realize are shaping your life. Silent forces that can keep you from achieving peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Let us begin by shining the light of awareness on these obstacles so that we may rise above them. After all, the Stoics believe that the path to a better life starts not by changing the world, but by changing how we perceive and respond to it. Complaining is one of the most common habits that keeps us from living a fulfilling life. It's easy to fall into, especially when we face difficulties or frustrations. However, the Stoics believed that complaining is not just unproductive. It actively harms us by directing our focus toward things we cannot control. Marcus Aurelius teaches us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted on things we are powerless to change. When you complain, you reinforce a narrative of helplessness. Complaints keep you rooted in the problem, not the solution. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoics encourage us to ask, "What can I do about this?" If a situation is within your control, take action to improve it. If it's outside your control, shift your energy toward acceptance and focus on what you can influence. Consider this: each complaint is an opportunity to exercise discipline. The next time you feel the urge to complain, pause and reflect. Ask yourself whether your words will improve the situation. If they won't, remain silent. As Epictetus advised, keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. Complaining also creates a cycle of negativity. The more you complain, the more you perceive your life as unfair or unsatisfactory. This mindset blinds you to the blessings and opportunities already present in your life. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By breaking the habit of complaining, you open the door to gratitude and perspective. You begin to see challenges not as burdens, but as opportunities to grow stronger. Stoicism doesn't deny the existence of hardship. Instead, it offers a framework for rising above it. Life will always present challenges, but your response determines your experience. Complaining offers no solution, no improvement. It only amplifies your suffering. The choice is yours. Will you let life's difficulties control you, or will you take control of your response to them? When you stop complaining, you reclaim your energy and your agency. You transform your mindset from one of victimhood to one of resilience. Remember, every complaint is a chance to practice Stoic principles, to focus on what you can control and to let go of what you cannot. It's in these moments that you truly begin to live a better life. Procrastination is a silent thief, stealing your most precious resource, time. The Stoics understood the fleeting nature of life and warned against the tendency to delay what must be done. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, reminds us it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Every time we put off a task or delay action, we chip away at the finite moments we have been given. The habit of procrastination often stems from fear of failure, fear of discomfort, or fear of imperfection. But the Stoics teach us that these fears are illusions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a morbid thought, it's a call to action. Life is uncertain and tomorrow is not guaranteed. Why then do we postpone what truly matters? Procrastination isn't just about tasks left undone, it's about the life unlived. The Stoics believed that action is central to a virtuous life. Epictetus stated, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means aligning your daily actions with your greater purpose. The more you delay, the further you drift from the person you aspire to become. One way to combat procrastination is to break tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Often, the sheer size of a project can feel overwhelming, causing us to freeze. But by focusing on just the first step, you create momentum. As Seneca wisely observed, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Another Stoic strategy is to embrace discomfort. Procrastination thrives on our desire to avoid difficult or unpleasant tasks. However, the Stoics saw discomfort as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. By leaning into discomfort, you transform obstacles into stepping stones. Finally, remind yourself of the ultimate cost of procrastination: regret. There is no greater sorrow than looking back on life and realizing you squandered your potential. The Stoics urge us to live with urgency, not because time is running out, but because every moment is an opportunity to act with purpose and integrity. Procrastination is not just a habit, it's a barrier to your better self. By facing it head-on, with the wisdom and discipline of the Stoics, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your life. The time to act is not later, it's now. The pursuit of external validation is one of the most insidious habits that keeps us from true fulfillment. It's natural to want others to appreciate or recognize our efforts. But when we tie our self-worth to the opinions of others, we hand over control of our happiness to forces beyond our reach. Epictetus warns us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, growth often requires you to let go of the need to be understood or approved of by everyone. At its core, the chase for external validation arises from a misunderstanding of what truly matters. The Stoics believed that virtue, living in alignment with reason, justice, courage, and moderation, should be the foundation of our self-respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." If your actions are rooted in virtue, what others think of you becomes irrelevant. Their approval cannot add to your worth, just as their disapproval cannot diminish it. This habit is especially dangerous because it fosters dependence. When we rely on others to validate us, we give them power over our emotions. A single word of criticism can devastate us, while a lack of recognition can leave us feeling invisible. The Stoics teach us to be independent of such external factors. Epictetus reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom comes from within, from the knowledge that your value is intrinsic and does not fluctuate based on external opinions. Chasing validation also distracts us from what truly matters, the work itself. When you focus on impressing others, you may compromise your values or stray from your purpose. Instead of asking, "What will they think of me?" the Stoics urge us to ask, "Is this the right thing to do?" By shifting your focus from others' opinions to your own principles, you align your actions with integrity. A practical way to break this habit is to practice self-reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself not whether you were praised, but whether you lived in accordance with your values. Did you act with kindness, courage, and wisdom? If the answer is yes, that is enough. Marcus Aurelius offers this advice. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Gratitude for your own life and values diminishes the need for external affirmation. Lastly, remember that others are often too preoccupied with their own lives to evaluate yours as deeply as you imagine. The fear of judgment is often exaggerated, a product of our own insecurities. By embracing this reality, you can release yourself from the weight of others' opinions and focus on living authentically. Chasing external validation is a fruitless endeavor that pulls you away from the path of self-mastery. By redirecting your energy inward and prioritizing your own values over the fleeting approval of others, you unlock the freedom to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true contentment. Neglecting gratitude is a habit that quietly erodes your sense of fulfillment and blinds you to the richness of life. The Stoics considered gratitude not just a virtue, but a practice essential to living well. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." In other words, many of the things you take for granted today are the very things you once wished for. Gratitude is not a passive feeling. It's an active choice to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. When you fail to practice gratitude, you fall into a mindset of scarcity and dissatisfaction. This habit fuels a never-ending chase for more possessions, more recognition, more success, without appreciating what you already have. Epictetus reminds us he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Gratitude shifts your perspective, revealing that abundance exists not in having everything, but in valuing what you have. The neglect of gratitude also distances you from the present moment. The Stoics believed in living fully in the now, and gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for achieving this. When you pause to appreciate the warmth of the sun, the taste of your meal, or the companionship of a friend, you anchor yourself in the present. Without gratitude, these moments slip by unnoticed and life begins to feel hollow and rushed. Moreover, gratitude fosters resilience. Life is full of challenges, but even in the darkest times, there is something to be thankful for, a lesson learned, a small kindness, or the strength to endure. Seneca wrote, "A happy life is one which is in accordance with its own nature." Gratitude aligns you with the natural flow of life, helping you to accept hardships while recognizing the good that remains. To cultivate gratitude, begin by setting aside time each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. It could be as simple as appreciating the air you breathe or the people who support you. Marcus Aurelius suggests, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I have seen the beauty of good and I have recognized the ugliness of evil." This mindset allows you to appreciate the good even when life presents challenges. Another practical exercise is to express your gratitude outwardly. Write a note of thanks to someone who has positively influenced your life, or simply tell them what they mean to you. Gratitude, when shared, deepens connections and brings mutual joy. When you neglect gratitude, you deprive yourself of a powerful source of peace and perspective. By intentionally practicing gratitude, you transform your outlook on life. You come to realize that happiness is not found in achieving everything you desire, but in valuing everything you already have. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Choose gratitude, and you will find abundance in every moment. Overindulgence is a habit that erodes self-control and distances us from the balanced, virtuous life the Stoics valued. It promises short-term pleasure, but often leads to long-term regret, dissatisfaction, and even harm. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from indulging every desire, but from mastering them. Epictetus stated, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Overindulgence, by its nature, places your happiness and freedom at the mercy of external cravings. At its core, overindulgence is a misunderstanding of what leads to true contentment. Whether it's overeating, overspending, or overindulging in distractions, this habit is rooted in the mistaken belief that more is better. Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. True wealth lies in appreciating what you already have and practicing moderation. The Stoics viewed temperance as one of the 4 cardinal virtues, emphasizing the importance of balance and self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not be carried away by the impression of the moment, but meet it with calm and deliberate judgment." Overindulgence thrives on impulse, on the inability to pause and reflect before acting. By cultivating mindfulness, you create space between a desire and your response, giving yourself the power to choose wisely. Overindulgence also weakens your resilience. The more you give in to every craving, the more you become enslaved to them. Epictetus warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you constantly seek comfort or pleasure, you lose the ability to endure hardship, which is essential for navigating life's inevitable challenges. To combat overindulgence, the Stoics recommend practicing voluntary discomfort. This involves intentionally denying yourself certain pleasures or conveniences to strengthen your willpower and remind yourself of what is truly necessary. For example, skip a meal, sleep without your usual comforts, or spend a day without any luxuries. These practices help you realize that you can thrive with less, reducing your dependency on indulgences. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Take away your opinion, and there is taken away the complaint. Take away the complaint, and the hurt is gone." This applies not only to discomfort, but also to cravings. Much of what you desire is merely a perception that can be changed. Another strategy is to reconnect with your purpose. The Stoics believed that our actions should align with our greater values and goals. When faced with the temptation to overindulge, ask yourself, does this action serve my purpose? Will it help me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, you have the strength to walk away. Overindulgence may provide fleeting pleasure, but it often comes at the cost of your long-term well-being and freedom. By practicing moderation, mindfulness, and self-discipline, you align yourself with the Stoic path to a virtuous and fulfilling life. Remember the words of Seneca, "The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires." Master your cravings, and you will find a deeper, lasting sense of contentment. Fear of failure is a habit that paralyzes growth and keeps you from pursuing your potential. It whispers doubts, magnifies risks, and often convinces you to stay within the confines of your comfort zone. The Stoics, however, viewed failure not as something to be feared, but as an essential part of life and learning. Seneca famously wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that they are difficult." In other words, fear of failure creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. By avoiding risks, we deny ourselves the opportunity to succeed. At its root, the fear of failure is a fixation on outcomes. We dread the possibility of embarrassment, rejection, or disappointment, and so we hold ourselves back. The Stoics taught that focusing on results is a mistake, because the outcomes of our efforts often lie outside our control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What matters is not whether you succeed or fail, but how you approach the task with effort, integrity, and resilience. Fear of failure also stems from an unhealthy attachment to perfectionism. We hesitate to begin because we fear we won't perform perfectly or meet some imagined standard. Epictetus advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means focusing on progress rather than perfection. Each attempt, whether it ends in success or failure, is a step closer to the person you want to become. Failure, the Stoics believed, is not a sign of weakness, but a teacher. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and improve. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By facing failure head-on, you transform it into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. When you fail, you gain insight into your weaknesses and discover areas for growth. Without failure, there is no progress. Moreover, the fear of failure often exaggerates the consequences of failing. We imagine worst-case scenarios that rarely come to pass. The Stoics advocated for a technique called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves visualizing the worst possible outcome of a situation to prepare yourself emotionally and rationally. When you realize that failure is rarely catastrophic and often recoverable, its power over you diminishes. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most fears of failure are projections of the mind, not reflections of reality. To overcome the fear of failure, start by redefining your relationship with it. Instead of seeing failure as an endpoint, view it as part of the journey. Each attempt, successful or not, provides valuable experience. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? The more you embrace failure as a teacher, the less intimidating it becomes. Next, focus on what you can control, your effort and your attitude. The Stoics emphasized that virtue lies in action, not results. Even if your efforts don't yield the outcome you desire, acting with courage and perseverance is itself a victory. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what is right, let the result follow." When you detach your self-worth from external outcomes, failure loses its ability to define you. Lastly, take small, deliberate steps toward your goals. Often, the fear of failure is overwhelming because we imagine the enormity of the task ahead. By breaking your goal into smaller, manageable actions, you build momentum and confidence. Each small success reinforces your belief in your ability to overcome challenges. Fear of failure is a mental construct, a barrier of your own making. By confronting it with the wisdom and courage of the Stoics, you free yourself to live boldly and authentically. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a vital part of the path to success. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it propel you forward. As Seneca so wisely stated, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Comparison is a habit that robs you of joy and peace, pulling your attention away from your own path and toward someone else's. The Stoics believed that each person has a unique role in the universe, and constantly measuring yourself against others distorts your ability to focus on what truly matters, your own growth and purpose. Marcus Aurelius warns, do not waste the rest of your life speculating about others. Instead, focus on your own actions. When you compare yourself to others, you shift your focus from what you can control, your own effort and choices, to what you cannot control, such as someone else's achievements, circumstances, or abilities. This mental habit fosters envy, resentment, and insecurity, none of which serve you. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. True progress lies in striving to better yourself, not in seeking to surpass others. One of the dangers of comparison is that it distorts reality. You often compare your struggles to someone else's highlights, especially in an age dominated by curated social media images. This creates a false narrative, making it seem like others are effortlessly succeeding while you are falling behind. Seneca wrote, "What difference does it make, after all, what your position in life is, if you dislike it yourself?" The Stoics urge us to remember that appearances can be deceiving, and the only life you truly know is your own. Comparison also leads to unnecessary suffering. Instead of appreciating your unique journey, you spend your energy wishing for someone else's life or resenting them for their success. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig." This means your potential and fulfillment lie within you, not in someone else's achievements. By focusing inward, you cultivate contentment and gratitude for what you already have. To break the habit of comparison, the Stoics suggest practicing amor fati, the love of fate. This means embracing your life as it is, with all its challenges and opportunities, rather than wishing for someone else's circumstances. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. By accepting your unique path, you free yourself from the burden of comparison. Another way to overcome comparison is to shift your mindset from competition to collaboration. Instead of viewing others as rivals, see them as teachers or inspirations. If someone excels in an area you value, ask yourself, what can I learn from them? This perspective transforms envy into admiration and turns comparison into an opportunity for growth. Finally, focus on your own progress. Set personal goals that align with your values and measure your success by how far you've come, not by how you compare to others. Epictetus advised, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. The habit of comparing yourself to others distracts you from your purpose and diminishes your peace of mind. By letting go of this habit and focusing on your own journey, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of living according to nature, your nature. Remember, the only comparison that matters is between who you were yesterday and who you are today. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Dwelling on the past is a habit that keeps you anchored in regret, guilt, or nostalgia, preventing you from fully living in the present. The Stoics believed that the past, like the future, is beyond our control. What has happened cannot be undone, and therefore ruminating over it serves no purpose other than to rob you of the here and now. Marcus Aurelius advised, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. This perspective encourages us to stop fixating on what has already passed and instead focus on the time and opportunities that remain. When you dwell on the past, you often replay mistakes, relive painful experiences, or idealize moments of happiness that you can never return to. While reflection can be valuable for learning and growth, excessive rumination is destructive. Epictetus taught, to accuse others for one's own misfortunes is a sign of want of education. To accuse oneself shows that one's education has begun. To accuse neither oneself nor others shows that one's education is complete. This means taking responsibility for your actions without letting past mistakes define you or hold you back. The Stoics remind us that we cannot change the past, but we can change our interpretation of it. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The difficulties you've faced in the past are not chains. They are stepping stones that have shaped who you are today. Even the most painful experiences hold lessons and opportunities for growth if you choose to see them that way. Dwelling on the past also blinds you to the opportunities in the present. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Confine yourself to the present." Life is happening now, not yesterday. Every moment spent stuck in the past is a moment lost to regret rather than lived with purpose. By shifting your focus to the present, you reclaim your power and can act in ways that improve your future. A practical Stoic exercise for overcoming this habit is to practice negative visualization. This involves imagining the loss of the things you currently have and cherish. By doing so, you develop a deeper appreciation for the present and are reminded of how fleeting life is. The past, no matter how good or bad, cannot provide the fulfillment that gratitude for the present moment can. Another technique is to frame past experiences as lessons rather than failures or losses. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? How can I grow from it? This mindset aligns with the Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius stated, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." This means using all experiences, even painful ones, as fuel for your growth and resilience. Lastly, the Stoics emphasize forgiveness of others and of yourself. Holding on to resentment or guilt only prolongs the suffering of the past. Seneca wrote, "Time heals what reason cannot." Accept the past for what it was. Forgive yourself for mistakes and move forward with clarity and purpose. Dwelling on the past is a habit that chains you to moments that no longer exist. By embracing the Stoic wisdom of focusing on the present and learning from your experiences, you free yourself to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, "Let each thing you would do, say, or intend be like that of a dying person." Live fully in the moment, for the present is all you truly have. Neglecting self-discipline is one of the most detrimental habits that prevent us from achieving our potential. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of a meaningful and fulfilling life, and the Stoics regarded it as a fundamental virtue. Without self-discipline, we are at the mercy of impulses, distractions, and fleeting desires that lead us astray from our purpose. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In other words, true freedom comes not from doing whatever you want, but from having the strength to do what is right and necessary. Neglecting self-discipline often stems from an aversion to discomfort or effort. Modern life, with its conveniences and distractions, tempts us to seek constant comfort and instant gratification. However, the Stoics believe that discomfort is not an enemy, but an opportunity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you don't have to turn this into something, it doesn't have to upset you. He challenges us to rise above immediate desires and momentary discomfort to act in alignment with our higher goals. When you neglect self-discipline, you undermine your ability to achieve long-term success. Goals are not reached by chance or luck. They require consistent effort and sacrifice. Seneca wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, Without discipline, even the best opportunities will slip through your fingers because you are unprepared to seize them. Another consequence of neglecting self-discipline is the erosion of confidence. Each time you fail to keep a promise to yourself, whether it's skipping a workout, procrastinating on an important task, or indulging in unhealthy habits, you chip away at your self-trust. This creates a cycle of frustration and disappointment, making it even harder to act with discipline in the future. Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Building self-discipline requires aligning your actions with your intentions, one step at a time. The Stoics believe that self-discipline is a muscle that grows stronger with use. One way to cultivate it is through small, deliberate practices of restraint. For example, practice saying no to minor temptations, such as skipping dessert or refraining from scrolling on your phone. These seemingly small acts build the mental fortitude to resist larger temptations and distractions over time. Marcus Aurelius encouraged this kind of practice, writing, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" By questioning your impulses, you can make more intentional and disciplined choices. Voluntary discomfort is another Stoic practice that strengthens self-discipline. By deliberately exposing yourself to small challenges, such as taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or walking instead of driving, you train your mind to endure and even embrace difficulty. This builds resilience, making it easier to handle life's unavoidable hardships with grace and strength. Epictetus taught, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Through challenges, you discover your capacity for discipline and growth. Neglecting self-discipline also leads to a life dominated by external influences. When you lack control over your impulses, you become a slave to circumstances, other people's demands, and fleeting pleasures. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living according to your inner values rather than being swayed by external forces. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By developing self-discipline, you take charge of your life and live on your own terms. To reclaim self-discipline, it's essential to start small and focus on consistency rather than perfection. The Stoics understood that mastery is achieved not overnight, but through steady effort over time. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Each disciplined choice you make builds momentum, leading you closer to your goals. Neglecting self-discipline isn't just about missing opportunities, it's about losing the ability to shape your life. With discipline, you gain the strength to overcome distractions, the courage to face discomfort, and the clarity to pursue your purpose. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Cultivate self-discipline, and you will create a life of freedom, integrity, and fulfillment. Avoiding responsibility is a habit that erodes your character, weakens your relationships, and distances you from the fulfilling life the Stoics envisioned. Responsibility is not just about meeting obligations, it's about taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and the role you play in the world. To avoid responsibility is to reject one of the most essential aspects of human existence, the ability to influence and improve your life and the lives of others. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this, writing, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?" When you avoid responsibility, you deny yourself the opportunity to grow and learn. Life's challenges, while often uncomfortable, are the very circumstances that strengthen you. The Stoics believed that adversity is not an obstacle, but a training ground for virtue. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Taking responsibility for your life, even in difficult situations, transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth. Avoiding responsibility also leads to a lack of purpose. Without responsibility, you drift through life, reacting to circumstances rather than shaping them. Seneca warned against this aimlessness, writing, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." A sense of responsibility anchors you, giving your actions meaning and your life direction. By embracing responsibility, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature, fulfilling your role as a rational and virtuous human being. One of the reasons people avoid responsibility is the fear of failure or criticism. It's tempting to pass the blame onto others or avoid making decisions altogether to shield yourself from potential mistakes. However, the Stoics teach that mistakes are not to be feared, but to be embraced as part of the human experience. Epictetus advised, "It is impossible to learn that which one thinks one already knows." Taking responsibility, even when you fall short, opens the door to learning, self-improvement, and ultimately, mastery. Responsibility also cultivates resilience. When you take ownership of your life, you develop the inner strength to face challenges with courage and resolve. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By accepting responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you reclaim your power and free yourself from the victim mindset. Avoiding responsibility often damages relationships as well. When you fail to fulfill your commitments or blame others for your shortcomings, you undermine trust and create conflict. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living in harmony with others and contributing to the greater good. Marcus Aurelius stated, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural." Taking responsibility strengthens your connections with others, fostering trust, respect, and cooperation. To break the habit of avoiding responsibility, start by practicing radical honesty with yourself. Acknowledge where you have fallen short and commit to making changes. Epictetus advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Accepting responsibility does not mean taking on burdens beyond your control, but rather focusing on what you can influence. Another practical step is to adopt a proactive mindset. Instead of waiting for others to act or for circumstances to improve, take initiative. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to make this situation better? By acting decisively, you build confidence and momentum, proving to yourself that you are capable of handling responsibility. Finally, practice accountability. Share your goals and commitments with someone you trust and invite them to hold you accountable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Accountability helps you stay focused and committed, reinforcing the habit of taking responsibility for your actions. Avoiding responsibility may feel like an escape, but it ultimately leads to a life of regret, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled potential. By embracing responsibility, you align yourself with the Stoic virtues of courage, wisdom, and justice, creating a life of purpose and integrity. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius so wisely observed, just as the nature of rational things has given to each person their rational powers, so it also gives us this power to refuse to accept false beliefs and to direct our impulses. Take responsibility, and you will not only transform your life, but inspire others to do the same. Negativity is a habit that poisons your thoughts, clouds your judgment, and drains your energy. The Stoics understood that while external events may be neutral, the way we interpret and react to them determines whether we experience peace or suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By indulging in negativity, you surrender this power, allowing your mind to become a battleground of frustration, anger, and despair. At its core, negativity is a focus on what is wrong rather than what is right. It's a mental habit that magnifies problems, fixates on flaws, and expects the worst. This mindset not only causes unnecessary suffering, but also blinds you to opportunities and solutions. Seneca observed, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." Negativity, then, is not just a reaction to life. It's a choice you make in how you interpret your circumstances. Negativity also creates a ripple effect, impacting not just your own mental state, but also the people around you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When your thoughts are dominated by negativity, your actions and words follow suit, spreading that energy to others. This can harm relationships, diminish collaboration, and perpetuate a cycle of discontent. Conversely, when you approach life with positivity and resilience, you inspire those around you to do the same. The habit of negativity often stems from focusing on what lies outside your control. Epictetus taught, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Dwelling on things you cannot change, such as past mistakes, other people's actions, or external events, leads to frustration and helplessness. The Stoics remind us that freedom and peace come from directing our energy toward what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses. Negativity also thrives on fear and anxiety, which are rooted in the mind's tendency to dwell on worst-case scenarios. Seneca addressed this in his work on the shortness of life, writing, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you allow your mind to spiral into negative speculation, you amplify your suffering and waste precious energy on events that may never happen. To overcome negativity, the Stoics recommend practicing gratitude as a daily discipline. Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." By intentionally focusing on what you are grateful for, no matter how small, you shift your attention from what is lacking to what is present. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity because it rewires your mind to seek and acknowledge the good in every situation. Another effective strategy is reframing challenges as opportunities. The Stoics believed that obstacles are not barriers, but pathways to growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When faced with a difficulty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? By adopting this mindset, you transform negativity into resilience. Mindfulness is another tool the Stoics champion for overcoming negativity. Negative thoughts often arise when your mind is scattered, dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By focusing on the present moment, you anchor yourself in reality, where most of your fears and frustrations lose their power. Epictetus taught, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours." This practice helps you let go of unnecessary burdens and focus on what truly matters. Lastly, cultivate compassion for yourself and for others. Negativity often arises from harsh self-criticism or resentment toward others. Seneca reminds us, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." By choosing compassion, you replace negative judgments with understanding and transform your relationships and mindset. Negativity is not an inherent part of life. It's a mental habit that can be unlearned. By practicing gratitude, reframing challenges, living mindfully, and embracing compassion, you can free yourself from the cycle of negativity. Remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. When you change your thoughts, you change your life, reclaiming your power to live with joy, purpose, and peace. Ignoring the present moment is a habit that disconnects you from the reality of life. The Stoics believed that the present is the only time that truly exists, and that failing to live in it leads to unnecessary suffering, anxiety, and regret. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this in his Meditations, writing, "Confine yourself to the present." Yet so many of us spend our lives lost in the past or worrying about the future, failing to recognize that the only moment we have any control over is the one unfolding right now. When you ignore the present, you fall into one of two traps. The first is dwelling on the past, reliving old mistakes, losses, or triumphs. While reflection can be valuable, excessive rumination anchors you in a time that no longer exists. Epictetus reminds us, don't let the force of an impression when it first hits you knock you off your feet. Just say to it, hold on a moment. Let me see who you are and what you represent. Let me put you to the test. This means examining your thoughts about the past critically and deciding whether they are serving you or hindering you. The second trap is fixating on the future. Fear of what might happen or hope for what might be pulls you away from the actions and decisions you can make today. Seneca warned against this tendency, writing, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." The future is uncertain, and worrying about it accomplishes nothing. It is only by living fully in the present that you can shape a better future. The Stoics believed that the present moment is where life happens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life." This doesn't mean acting recklessly. It means bringing mindfulness, purpose, and gratitude to each moment. When you live in the present, you free yourself from the weight of the past and the anxiety of the future, allowing you to experience life as it truly is. Ignoring the present moment also leads to missed opportunities. The more time you spend lost in thought, the less time you have to act. Opportunities are often fleeting, and only by being present can you recognize and seize them. Epictetus taught, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" By ignoring the now, you risk postponing your potential indefinitely. Living in the present is not about ignoring your responsibilities or neglecting your goals. It's about focusing your energy on what you can control and act upon today. The Stoics remind us that all power lies in the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a call to despair, but a call to urgency. Recognizing life's impermanence helps you prioritize what truly matters. One way to reconnect with the present moment is through mindfulness. Pay attention to your breath, your surroundings, or the task at hand. When your mind starts to wander into the past or future, gently guide it back to the now. Epictetus advised, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern." This practice trains your mind to let go of distractions and engage fully with life. Another practice is gratitude. Take a moment each day to appreciate the simple, often overlooked aspects of your life, the warmth of the sun, the taste of your food, or the presence of a loved one. Gratitude roots you in the present by drawing your attention to what is good and real in this moment. Marcus Aurelius encouraged this, writing, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Finally, embrace the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. This means accepting each moment as it comes, whether it brings joy or hardship, with the understanding that it is part of your journey. Marcus Aurelius wrote, Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. By loving and accepting the present moment, you free yourself from resistance and unlock a sense of peace and flow. Ignoring the present moment is a habit that deprives you of the fullness of life. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. All you have is now. By embracing mindfulness, practicing gratitude, and accepting each moment as it is, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action. Life unfolds in the present, one moment at a time. Live it fully. The journey to a better life begins with awareness. By recognizing and addressing these 12 habits, complaining, procrastination, chasing external validation, neglecting gratitude, overindulgence, fear of failure, comparing yourself to others, dwelling on the past, neglecting self-discipline, avoiding responsibility, negativity, and ignoring the present moment, you take the first step toward reclaiming your power and purpose. The Stoics remind us that life is short, and the way we choose to live each moment defines the quality of our existence. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The choice is yours. Will you let these habits hold you back, or will you rise above them with courage, wisdom, and determination? Start today. Take one step toward becoming the person you want to be. Focus on what you can control, let go of what you cannot, and live each moment with intention and gratitude. Remember, perfection is not the goal. Progress is. If you found this video valuable and it inspired you to think differently, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit from this message, and subscribe to the channel for more insights and guidance on living a meaningful life. Your support helps us continue creating content that uplifts and empowers. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, live with purpose and embrace the wisdom of the Stoics. See you in the next video.